Hello everyone, welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with me, Anne Welsh. Today's guest is Miriam. She's a sickle cell advocate, and I met her through, social media contacts, and I saw the amazing work she was doing for people with sickle cell. I was extremely touched by this, and I decided to reach out to her to talk about the reason she started her platform and what journey she's been through along the way, and how she's using this platform to help others overcome their own pain of chronic illness. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome again to Painless Universal, a conversation with me, Anne Welsh. Today my special guest, which I've already introduced her already in the intro, but she's Miriam. She's someone I really admire for the work she's doing, especially for people with sickle cell. In fact, the first time I met her, the first question I asked her was, do you have sickle cell yourself? Because you're doing all this amazing work. Miriam, thank you for joining us. I'm really glad you're joining us all the way from the United States.
That's right.
I'm glad you can make that time to join us from all the way from the United States. I'm glad. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm keeping well. It's challenging times. It's difficult. It's different, but I'm doing well. Yes.
Fantastic. I'm really happy to hear that. And like I always told you, you really inspire me, seeing you looking so absolutely beautiful and vibrant and still able to do what you were doing with kids, with the organization you're running. Like, let me not even say an organization is part of you, the sickle cell. Like, I am just amazed by what you're able to do and accomplish. Like, I'm really, 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 really.
I'm so glad. Thank
And
you
it,
so much.
and for people like you make it easy for us advocating for sickle cell disease. You understand? Is because when we think of sickle cell, we think of, oh, they can't do anything, they can't accomplish anything, because that's the stigma that people or the universe have. So it makes it difficult. But for one like you that's fighting the battle, that's a warrior, and still able to get up and still accomplish what you're doing, it's fantastic. You're giving hope to the younger ones.
I really thank you so much though. It's challenging, but I just always look at the bright side. No matter how the earth, Mother Nature, whatever tries to knock me down, one thing I always say is that I never stay down. Because down cannot, when you're down, you should only see it as down, and you shouldn't think of going further deep. You should think of just going up, right? And because I've always been knocked down all my life with the pain and with the chronic illness. Every time you're like, oh gosh, not again. Then I realized that rather than me keep asking that question, not again, what else can I do to inspire and help others? So this is why I'm always positive about it. And people like you keep me going, because this thing is just such a big world. You're all the way in the States, you're making a difference for people, their lives. But I wanted to know a little bit about who is Miriam, and what drove you to get excited about sickle cell?
I'm just one big fan and advocate for sickle cell disease. My career background is in law and finance.
Yeah.
And I've been in the industry for more than 12 years right now. And in 2016, I decided, I've had the foundation set up since 2009. Mm-hmm. And right after I finished university, and I started working, I continued working because I've been working since school. Then in 2016, I said to myself, you know what? I've been running this foundation for quite a while, but I haven't touched the lives I wanted to touch as much, because I'm held up with responsibilities at work that I can't leave my job most times to fly out of the country. And the people I actually want to even, touch more are the people from my background, from Africa, because my brother inspired me. He's a sickle cell warrior, and he beats it. Every time it knocks him down, he comes back up even stronger. And every time I talk about this, I get very emotional, because I know the struggle. I know how much it takes from a family. It takes everything from the family. Like it can break a family. You have to be very strong and supportive. You understand?
Yeah.
So when, like I said, I decided that, you know what, I'm not doing this, and the only thing keeping me is my 8 to 5 job. You know, with 2 weeks of vacation in a year, what can you accomplish within 2 weeks period? You understand? It's not much. So I had to make that sacrifice and focus and on building my foundation to where I wanted to be. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't easy. It was really hard getting used to, getting beautiful paycheck, your account looking good, being able to, do a little bit of shopping. But guess what? It was only shopping I was able to do, because even the things I was buying, I wouldn't have places to wear them because I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So my life wasn't balancing. You understand? The money was there, but I wasn't having that time. Like I wasn't fulfilling my purpose, because I feel like this is my purpose. You understand? Giving back and making an impact in the life of my community. You understand?
Yeah.
So since then, the foundation started growing. I started networking. I started attending events at the UN, networking with people, working with the American Sickle Cell Foundation, doing many, many things, connecting with the right souls to, accomplish my mission. And my mission is to, not just financially support an individual, but giving them that moral support, that emotional support, because that's what sickle cell warriors need the most. It's not about the money all the time. They feel so down. Like imagine being in the hospital for sometimes 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could go up to 6 weeks, because my mother has lost all of her jobs in the past because my brother was hospitalized. Do you get? So coming from that, coming home, you're just weak to get back on your feet, to catch up with assignments, to do so many things. It requires so much. Like when I'm talking about this, I'm like, that's why I'm telling you, I don't know how you do it. Yeah. And this is why it's very important for people to grab your book and read it, to actually get inspired from that, because
thank you.
They don't know how to do it. I wouldn't know how to do it unless someone teaches me and support me in that manner. You understand? And I'm sure you have a great significant other, your husband, that also supports you. So we're going to get to that part as well, because if you're out of your family house, you're going somewhere else. As a woman, you're getting married. So the person you actually get married to should understand what sickle cell is, should be willing and ready to support you, because you guys are one now. And if you don't get that support, you're going to be broken.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's my little story behind why and how I actually continued, to be a sickle cell advocate. And I'll be an advocate for life.
Yeah.
The network was great. It was static. Yeah.
It's back.
So that is it. That's my journey, and I'm still on it, and I'm meeting people every day who are very passionate about it. And I must say, it's great feeling to know that we are just not alone.
Yes. No, in your organization, so I know you talked a little bit about your organization, what you do, but how do you connect with the people? Is it mostly people in the United States, or do you focus on people in Africa where there's really a huge demand for our help?
Okay, so I get that question a lot, right? In America, you'll be shocked to know that as much as people need support in Africa, people need support in America, right?
Yeah.
In America, one of the most challenges is kids with sickle cell going to school and missing on assignments. I strongly feel that they're not getting support that they need. They're not getting that extra attention, right? Because they're just seeing it as a Black disease. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. So most kids will basically give up because they can't catch up with homeworks. They can't catch up with assignments. They don't know what to do. And the way the system is set up here, my mother could give up her job to take care of my brother because my dad is in the picture. I am in the picture. My siblings are in the picture. We can support the family, right? But if you look at another family, the mom has to go to work to pay rent, or the dad has to go to work to pay bills. You understand? So when it comes to the child being hospitalized, most of these kids are in the hospital by themselves without a family.
Yes.
I've seen it once, not twice, not three. Versus in Africa, when the child has crisis, the whole family is there to support. You understand? Sometimes the mom doesn't work, it's just the dad that works.
Yeah.
So that correlation is there, you understand?
Yeah.
So there's advantages and disadvantages anyway.
Yeah.
And the advantage that's here is the better health, access to better health care. And even with that, last week, I'll talk about it. Last week on Instagram, there was a doctor that mentioned something about sickle cell patients are drug seekers. Understand? When in the hospital, they abuse pain medication. I don't think any sickle cell patient abuses pain medication.
Yeah.
Some of these kids are in the hospital, they're scared to ask the doctors for medication or for pain dose because they feel like they're going to be judged. So they don't ask for it. So they rather stay in pain than ask for pain medication. So things like that, you know, those are issues in America here. But when you look at Africa, most of them don't even have the money to buy the medication. So they don't even take medications.
Yeah.
So when I went there last, they tell me, oh, sometimes when they have crisis, they're home, they don't go to the hospital, you know, they take paracetamol when they can. I'm sure you know what paracetamol is. We use acetaminophen here, but you know, they say they take paracetamol. I'm like, how do you survive from paracetamol? Because my brother is in the hospital. He's on the highest dose of pain medications that are stronger than paracetamol. So how do you? Because I've never had the crisis, but I know how painful that could be.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I see how much my brother suffers sometimes in heart. Like, it's painful. You have to live with the person to know how painful it is. You understand? So my focus is in both worlds because I live here permanently, but you know, like I go back and forth. My partner, you know, is in Nigeria and all that. So then I used to go back and forth, you know, and get things done, you know, Gambia as well. And my goal is to actually touch, you know, be in touch with other African countries and work with them, you know, and support them because everyone needs support. Even in the Western world, we all need support. So it's not just, like I said, the financial or the medical. We need more support. We need to give them hope.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like you should even touch more because a lot of sickle cell programs don't have adult transition programs, which is, you know, after a child grows up, what's next? You know, college, the kid go to college, they have, that's why most of them used to die after they hit 17 because they are separated from their parents. They don't have that care anymore. So there's no program for adult transition. So I feel like you should even touch more on that because, and another thing is a lot of people with sickle cell disease don't talk about it.
No.
They hide it. I've met with people, sat with people that have sickle cell, and they did not tell me they have sickle cell. And we talked about the topic. Yeah. Then later on, someone would tell me, do you know that guy has sickle cell? You should reach out to him. I'm like, who? I'm like, no, that's not possible. Because I was just telling the guy about my events and my, you know, programs. He didn't make any comments. So what is the problem? Like, if you live up to 50 or 40, I think you are in the right position than even me as an advocate to speak about sickle cell and to give those younger people hope. But if you're not doing it, how would they have hope? How would they feel that, you know, I can make it in life? Because most times we don't see any elder person that says, oh, I've lived through this. I've been through college. I did university. I have a great career. We don't hear so much of those stories. We need to hear so much of those stories. And you need to speak up more. Your voice needs to be heard more because these children need hope. They don't have hope. Yeah. That's it.
No,
they need.
I support everything you've just said. The one thing that you said that really touched me and just almost brought tears to my eyes is what you said about the hospital, especially hospital in the West. My mom would come see me, poor thing, God bless her. She would come very early in the morning and see me. Then she has to go from there straight to work. And you're not going to have a vista the whole time. So anything could be happening. No, you can't access your phone because you're weak. There's no vista. My sisters are all going to be working. Husband is working. Everyone is working. So it's just like people can only see you later on. But in Africa, where that culture is that even if people are working, there'll be definitely somebody along the line that could sit with you.
They'll bring you food.
Yes.
You feel love.
You feel really love. And I just, it's true. When we think sickle cell, we only think that the pain is in Africa, but the pain in the West is
Yeah.
so very, very, gosh, it could be very, numbing. Then the painkillers, well, I remember when I used to take all these painkillers, I used to be so drugged out. And depends on the doctors. You have to study about painkillers because you can't just give people painkillers and not ask them their weights. You have
Right.
to know all of that.
You need
Some
to
new
take
doctors don't really
I don't know.
know this because on no more ward. And I remember one time they gave me this, and my mom just finished work. Luckily, came in. She saw me. She's like, "How can my daughter? I saw her this morning, and now she looks like she's about to die. What happened?" So they found that I was on morphine overdose. My body had taken so much, and it was just sheer luck that my mom had just walked in that minute. That saved my life. And whenever we think about all these incidents, and there's so many of them, and I just think this is what's happening. That advocacy is there, that we just need to keep talking about it and
Definitely.
help
We need
people overcome this pain.
we need to, and you'll be so surprised on to know that a lot of Africans don't know how sickle cell works.
Yes.
I was working with a tax accountant a few years ago, so I needed some documentation, and I reached out to him by text. And after we had spoken, he said, "Miriam, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes." He said, when you send me a message, underneath it, your signature says something about Africa Sickle Cell, you're the president or founder." I said, "Oh, yes, I am." He said, excuse me, he said, "What is that?" I said, "Wait, you don't know what sickle cell is?" He said, "No, what is that?" I said, "Are you married?" That's the first question I asked. "Are you married?" He said, "Yes, and we just had a baby." I said, "And you still don't know what sickle cell?" I said, "You're playing with yourself, aren't you?" He said, "No, I don't know." I said, "Thank you for asking. Forget what I just asked you for. Do you have 15 minutes today to give me?" He said, "Yes." I preached to him about sickle cell for 15 minutes on the phone. He said, "Tomorrow, I'm going to the hospital to get tested. My wife will get tested. My baby would get tested." I said, "You're telling me even when your woman gave birth, they didn't test for her?" I'm like, "Wait, what is, and you live in this America?" He lives here.
Wow.
How was that possible? And he told me his father is a medical doctor.
Wow.
And African on top of that.
Don't you think, in you doing your job, don't you think there's a lot of stigma that has caused
Too much stigma.
not?
And sometimes parents would have this, they wouldn't tell their children. Children wouldn't also do it because they don't know any better. And they don't ask questions. And we have so much work to do.
So how would we overcome? One of these things is that we want to share ideas. How do you think, Miriam?
I strongly believe that the individuals that have a stronger voice than us, that comes to politicians, musicians, the actresses, or the actors, us to share our voices, because people tend to visit, like when you talk about social media, people go on their social media more than they visit my social media page because of what they post or because of their fan base. You understand? So if we can partner with these individuals to help and support the cause, I feel like we'll reach more audience.
Okay.
Because no matter what, if you look at statistics, people visit social media sites than they visit websites.
Yes, true.
There's there's 80% chances that I would go on a social media page and look at something and like it, then go to another person's website to actually see what they're selling. I'll first go to Instagram first before I go to their website.
Yeah.
So, and these celebrities, they go on Instagram more often. So they could be our biggest asset to actually help us to get awards out there. But the truth is, it's not been done. When I'm doing my event and I ask someone to support or to post a flyer, they ask me for money. I'm like, this is a non-profit. Can you support? You're African. I understand you're doing your job and this is what you probably live off with, but you need to give back to your community. I'm sorry, that's the truth.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. It's like, and people will come up to me and say, "Oh man, but that's what they do for work. These are people. This they don't do." I'm like, I don't care what you do. I'm sorry. I'm very hardcore when it comes to my passion. You understand? And I feel like it is our social responsibilities to actually do these things. You understand? The same way you as an individual feel like you are entitled to something. I feel like we are entitled and responsible to help other human beings.
Yes.
Not financially, but at 3 minutes or 2 minutes of your time, what does it cost?
No.
To educate people, to even, it could even save your life as a person or a family member's life, because you don't know who that message is going to get across to.
Yeah.
So I feel like those avenues can actually help us spread the word and touch more lives.
So what is Miriam doing now? Are we up, I know we were meant to meet in March.
Yes.
For your event, and with the COVID-19 around the corner, I kept saying, Miriam, I'm not sure I could make it.
I know we're gonna do it, yeah, but it didn't happen.
What are your plans now? A Zoom call with everyone? Is there anything in the pipeline for you?
Of course. The goal is still to that event in New York was supposed to not, I wouldn't say open a lot of doors for other opportunities, but to create and build more partnerships, right? It would have been the first time we meet, and I'm sure when we meet, it's a firecracker. We're gonna get a lot of people.
I know, yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah. So it's gonna happen for sure, inshallah, by the grace of God. And for my projects in the pipeline is to have an after-school program in the US here to help kids, especially in high school, preparing for college, to get, to help them, support them, to make sure that their GPAs are on track. They're looking at colleges. They have ideas of what they want to study in college. You understand? Like Sickle warriors, right? And help them with, assignments to catch up in case they, they get, left behind with assignments because they're in the hospital. So these are programs I'm trying to put together for high school students for sickle cell disease. That's in the US here. And then in Gambia, I'm working on setting up the first sickle cell treatment center because there's none right now. There's nothing in the Gambia for sickle cell disease. So that's my goal, and I'm working towards it. And I'm still seeking partnerships, and that's where I actually want us to work together. And I would love you to bring your book as well there as well. So that's one thing I'm really, really, really working on my agenda, aside that in the US. And in Nigeria, and even in Gambia, my partners called Hemix Health. I'm not sure if I mentioned them to you. No. They're in America here. They just launched a device that's used to screen for sickle cell and malaria.
Wow.
Right? Under 6 minutes, I believe, or under 6 minutes. But I know it's less than 10 minutes, you will get your results. And it's very cheap. It costs nothing more than $2, $2 to get screened. And it's amazing. It's portable. You can charge it. So it's durable. It's very portable.
Usable. Or just one time?
No. It's a small machine, very portable. You can charge it like for places like, in the villages, you can charge it where there's no electricity sometimes in Africa. You can charge it, it can go up to the whole entire day, and it can store the results and print it out again. Okay. It's very amazing, and it's very, affordable. Oh, wow. It's like $2,000. How about that? Cheaper than the electrophoresis and less complex, So the machine is really good. So I'm working on, getting support to actually buy those machines to install them, in places, like remote places, because we still need to know the numbers. We don't have the right numbers.
Data is not there.
Nothing.
Nothing. So how do you know? How do you analyze?
Compare and contrast. We don't have it. So that's a great way to start. And the fourth one is the newborn screening, right? Yeah. We need to implement the newborn screening. And when I say newborn screening, I hear in Africa, oh, then what? When you know your genotype, then what? No, I'm like, what do you mean then what? That's the basic fundamentals. You know your genotype, then you are on a treatment plan as a baby, because after 6 months, you are after your mother's hemoglobin F, the sickle gene starts hitting, you understand? So if you know right after birth, or 4 weeks after birth, you know what your genotype is, then the doctors can have a treatment plan in place for you, giving you iron, you know, all the little things. I don't like speaking too much on the medical aspect because I'm not a medical doctor. I let the doctors think that part. But I know that when we know our genotypes from birth, then it helps reduce mortality rate.
Yes.
We will grow better, healthier, you know, with better medications and access, you know, to healthcare, better healthcare, you know, with a treatment plan. The child life is not at risk. But if you know what your child has, because some people tell me they didn't know they had sickle cell until like 10, 12, 15, you understand? Like, or they even died, they don't know they have sickles. Most people would die and not know that they have sickle cell. Then their parents will screen and later know that they both have a, you know, now things are getting better, you know, there's a lot of development taking place. People are more, you know, a little bit more aware, you know, in Africa than, you know, 10 years ago, you understand? And for that change to keep on going, we have to keep on working and pushing hard.
Yes.
So for right now, those are my, you know, projects of pipeline.
So, you know, we all talk about overcoming pain, and there's so much pain regarding with dealing with sickle cell. There's either the physical pain of someone suffering from sickle cell, or there's a pain of not being able to do well. What advice would you give them from looking at your brother, or dealing with other patients who have sickle cell? What advice would you give out there to make someone who's very nervous, a mother out there who's nervous about her child, or nervous, a patient who's nervous? And from your experience, I mean, I know you're not a doctor, but there's also the emotional side. What advice would you give somebody?
Okay, advice I would give the public out there is that as a mother, you know, as a mother and raising a child with sickle cell, or as a individual, you know, living around with someone with sickle cell, you know, could be a friend in college, a roommate, or whatsoever.
Yes.
Always try to know the trends of how this crisis come, because you don't have to wait for your child to be crying on the floor to ask them what's going on. You need to understand your child. And when I say understand, is to know the dosage of medication they take. You understand? Even if you can't pronounce it, put it on your phone, do research. Is the internet, Google. If you're not educated as a mother, you have friends. That's why you should talk to other people, to let them know this is what's going on with my child and this is what I'm dealing with. And like you said, most stress is not even the child being in the hospital. It's the mother having the feeling that, when will this end?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you the truth. My brother is 15 now, right? He's going to be 16 this year. And my mom still cries every time he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
But you know what we do? We uplift her. I go there with my little phone. I'm like, look, I just spoke to this person. You know, look at this lady. She's 53 years old. She had sickle cell. She's strong. You know, I do my research. Tell them something positive.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell them positive things. You understand?
Yes.
Like it gives them hope. Like this might come off really wrong to say, but I try to tell my younger brother that I used to be sick as he is right now. Like I used to be very sick when I was younger. But look at me. I finished college. I'm doing this. I'm traveling. I'm like, you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Understand? Like you need to give them courage. Pain could be any pain. It could be emotional pain. It could be mental pain. It could be physical. You understand? But we need to be very positive around these people.
Okay.
And as a parent or as a friend, I'm going to say this again, it is our social responsibilities. You know, like we all are here for a purpose. I know there's no time, but when a person has sickle cell around you, study them very well. Sometimes my brother has crisis. You know what he does? He acts like he's okay, but because I know him so well, and we know him so well in this home, we know he's in pain. You know why? Because he does not want to go to the hospital. He'll say he's okay, he's okay, he's okay. By the time we get to the hospital, like I'm like, let's call 911. I don't wait. I'm the queen of 911 in the house. I won't wait at all. I don't take chances.
Yeah.
You understand? I tell this, a sickle cell patient can have stroke. You understand? And that can kill in a second, or in moments. You don't know how it can affect your brain or anything. It cause a brain damage or a brain injury. So it's like when a child has crisis, don't sit home. If you have access to it, don't stay home and be like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. Go straight. You want to know what the hemoglobin level is. Is the body receiving oxygen? These are things the hospital can take on right away. And if you get to the hospital, you see a doctor that you think that don't know what they're doing, ask for someone, tell them. You need to be very vocal as a sickle cell warrior, because at this emergency hospital, some of them don't know what they're doing. They don't know what sickle cell is.
Yeah.
So you tell them, I'm a sickle cell patient. I need some. Have you seen a sickle cell patient before? Most of them will tell you no. They're like, okay, this is what I go through. Sometimes my brother tells these doctors what to do. I'm being serious. And sometimes it's very hard to get through his vein.
Yes.
I think they're called phlebotomist or something like that.
Yeah, phlebotomist, yes.
Yeah, my brother would tell them, can you call that department and send someone to come draw my blood? Because you've tried 3-4 times. They hurt his vein. Like, it's painful. You understand? So there's so much pain attached to sickle cell. It's not just the crisis. The process of even being hospitalized sometimes is painful. It's emotionally draining. So we need to be very positive around them, like support them as much as possible. Because I've heard stories where people tell me their own siblings will tell them, you get sick too much. You're being a burden in the family. You understand that kind of thing?
Yes.
Like that could cause suicidal.
Yes.
For someone not very strong.
Yes.
So we need to give them all that support and love and caring. It sounds too much, but as a mother now, it's not too much.
It's not.
Very little.
Yeah, it's not too much to ask.
It's not too much to ask.
No. Miriam, your story, it touches so many, and you do so much. I don't know how God has put you there to keep being a voice. It's what we need, because everything you say is what we need, and you've not missed out anything. Any plans for World Sickle Cell Day that we should know of, that people listening should know of, or you just...
No, I'm actually was gonna reach out to Portland, because I'm in Portland right now. I was gonna reach out to the Portland Sickle Cell Foundation, like the American Sickle Cell Foundation chapter in Portland, because I worked with them at some point, like a few years ago, to see what we can do. Or my brother's Dr. Wong at OHSU, she's very passionate about sickle cell, and she's also involved, in sickle cell, advocacy. So I'm gonna reach out to her and see what we are planning with the lockdown and all the social distancing. Maybe we can do something online, or maybe we can even plan something online. Do something on Instagram.
Have a call with
our teachers, all that stuff. Bring more together, have a Twitter party, something to keep the fire cracking. You understand?
Yes, keep marking this day, because it's a special day for everyone. So why not? Let's see.
Definitely. And I will call Gambia too, the team in Nigeria. I'm not sure what they're doing right now. So we'll see. We'll see what they plan on doing, because, we're in a different world right now. COVID-19 really, really, really got us like this.
How are you guys dealing with it? How did your brother manage with the COVID-19?
He's, like, I'm the COVID-19 police in the house, obviously. Like, I'm like always on top of things. They are as well, but when he goes to the store with my mom or someone, I'm like, don't touch this, remove your gloves, take a shower, clean your, he's on top of it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm sure I annoy him so much. I think I put too much attention just on him, but I'm like, we need to make sure, your immune system don't compromise. You understand? To all these things happening, we already have stuff we're dealing with right now. We don't want to add any more things to it, right?
Oh my goodness. You are one hell of a girl. I have to.
I'm like, no, we can't do that. No.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Miriam, for joining this platform. And I'm sure and very positive that there'll be many, many more things out of this, especially with you and I, because I think it's really crucial right now that
Mm-hmm.
the voice of sickle cell is no longer just said, almost like the Black Lives Matters, which is going on in your country right now.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. It's the same thing. Sickle cell's life matters as well. That's this thing because they've been underfunded for many, many years. They've been under research, so more needs to be done. And I really appreciate you. Any final thoughts? Any final words you want to add?
For everyone out there, I would say that I want to see more of Anne.
Thank you.
And I want the world to hear your story. I want you to meet my brother. I want
Yeah.
you to you know, look at him and tell him, you know what, here I am with two
Okay.
kids. You it's okay. It's a journey. There are
Yeah.
people with no sickle cell,
Yeah.
and they're fighting battles more harder than
Yeah.
sickle cell.
Yes.
And they've won those battles. So what makes you think you can't win this battle that you're fighting? You understand? And that's what you did.
Mm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So everyone is fighting a battle with sickle cell or without sickle cell. Everyone is fighting a battle. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And some battles are harder than sickle cell battles.
That's
So why do you think you can't win that battle that you're fighting?
yeah.
You understand? And it's win as a team.
Mm.
It's like a project. You're in a corporate office. You have a project team, like a project management team that you're working with, and then the team lead is not there. Is the project gonna die
Mm.
as a group? No.
No.
If that's a strong group and everyone is active, that team or that project would not die.
Yeah.
The next person will take over and
Mm.
they will deliver. So as a team, we need to come together and work together so we can achieve, greatness, like I said, always. And together we can do all these things, but not one person. We have to do it together.
Yes.
You understand? So I really hope a lot of people will read your story and be not. I don't want to use the word impressed, but to be motivated,
Keep
by
the
it to be better and be courageous and encourage them to do more in their life and not give up. Because it's easy to give up with sickle cell. You get tired of being in the hospital. You get tired of doing good things, especially bad things that. I'm not saying that it's bad to have, but it's a bad feeling to know that you are in the hospital all the time.
yes.
And if
Yes.
you
Yeah.
go shopping every day, you'll get tired at some point, no matter how fun the shopping is.
Yes. Exactly.
Imagine being in the hospital all the time. You'll get tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in a bad way, actually, because it's not a good place to be. We all don't want to be in the hospital.
Yes.
So let's pray more and love these, our warriors more than we love them right now. Let's give them more love, more hope, and more support.
Oh gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Miriam. I always love what you've been doing. I saw you the first time when you did your work at UN, and I just couldn't believe who is this amazing girl reaching out and helping us, giving us a voice where we desperately need one. Like you rightly said, we can't do it on our own. We need all the support we can get. Thank you, and I
Good.
wish you very much. In this adventure, whatever you're doing. I will definitely be there to support you because I believe in working together because together we are stronger. Doesn't matter what anyone says, but together we will accomplish more. So thank you, and let's catch up very soon.
Definitely. We'll catch up soon.
Uh,
All
enjoy.
right. Thank you. You take care, Anne.
Bye.